man, because I have videos on videos and photos on photos, and even just Blender files of things that I've done that I look back and I'm like, I've actually come pretty far from the me that started out with a donut and gave up like a weekend because I couldn't figure out how to get all the those like outline tools to go away. Yeah, I couldn't get, what are they called? The gizmos. Yeah, the gizmos just popped up on every sprinkle. And yeah, whenever I get frustrated, I like to think back on that week when I was just like, oh, well, this tool. Never opening it again.
I started recording just in case we had anything good.
Oh.
No.
Anyway, but
beep.
You mentioned about like being really anxious about putting stuff out in front of people, and I will say from my perspective, that was the hardest thing to do at the beginning, especially when setting up the channel. But I kind of had to force myself to do it out of necessity because I didn't really have like many choices left for what to do.
Yeah.
So it's just like, right, you're gonna do it. You have to post this. I'm forcing myself to post it like everywhere. When I did like the first tutorial video,
there's a lot of what's the word, like influences or potential drivers for me to just do this, because I'm slowly figuring out that the best way to do the things that I want to do is to just do it on my own and kind of start that. And so the push for me is to just be able to kind of keep myself afloat doing exactly what I want to do, which has always kind of been my disposition. Just something I kind of gotta grow into and do. But yeah, I wanna at the end of January put out just for free on Patreon and start that, get that ball going, whatever I do. So it's gonna be hopefully 30 jams and 30 awful sculpts that if people want to use, just grab them. It's fine. And the music too. That's the fun bit for me, mostly, just because that I feel a little less anxious about. But yeah, there's no way I'm winning any sort of topology awards for the sculpting I'm doing this month.
Oh, Grammys.
Yeah. True.
True. One thing you might want to try, Arturo, is I don't know if you've got an ArtStation or DeviantArt page, but make a folder and just call it WIP, just work in progress. And that's where you just dump the stuff that's not finished. Who cares who sees it? And then if you do end up finishing something that you're quite proud of, then you go, finished art folder. And that way you get stuff out there and you get in the habit and practice of putting it out there. But you're already telling the world, look, this is just me farting around. This is just me. Oh, sorry, we're recording now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's okay. I've got that tone. I've got an audio file of that tone, that people put over swear words, so I can just throw that on. Yeah.
Oh man, yes.
Really?
That should be on every Australian.
Yeah, that's a solid plan.
So what music do you do, Arturo?
Anything. So I get this question a lot, and there's a couple of instruments behind me like hung up, but I get the question like, what do you play? And my answer is always the same. It's anything I can get my hands on, and how well I play it is subjective, but I really do enjoy just experimentation. So lately I've been playing a lot of synthesizer stuff, like heavily Tom York and like Flying Lotus and others inspired. But I can't get this Arctic Monkeys album out of my head.
Can I hire you?
Can you hire me? Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Happily. Yeah, I've scored stuff before. It's been fun.
Give me some samples of your work.
Yes, please.
Have you heard the song WAP? Just kidding. Some samples of my stuff, sure. I mean, if you go on, quick tangent here, just because I know, Curtis, you also just got a new phone, but I love that you don't have to have any apps on the screen anymore.
Yes.
That's phenomenal. It's so good.
Yeah, I've really customized mine. I've got like a couple of the widgets at the top. Kind of feels like home. I've got everything on one page, so like I've got lots of folders. That's how I like it.
Yeah. I started doing the folders thing, and then I saw a button that just allows you to hide all the apps, and I was like, that's the one that I want. I actually have one on this iPad, and it's track, and it's actually titled Curtis Demo Video.
Oh.
So this one's a super simple track that I put together for
Blender fanfic.
Yeah, for Blender fanfic. For a post that I did using which one was it? It was Demo 2.
presets.
Oh, you have the
Yeah.
emissive light things. Yeah.
So it's like,
Oh, a bit came through. It keeps cutting out, but it's sounding
it's all right.
nice.
We'll send it.
Yeah.
It's trippy. It's trippy stuff. So I'm trying to make more sort of ambient-ish
Yeah.
Cool.
music at the
I like
moment.
ambience.
Yeah, I like poppy ambience.
No, I was going to say, we always talk about, creative collaborations. Someone's a good modeler, someone's a good texturer, someone's a good lighter, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But music is very overlooked, and I think there's definitely something to be said of anyone who's even just got some experimental tracks on SoundCloud or wherever you put your music. Say, hey, maybe, I don't know, gear a Patreon towards that. I don't know. I'm just spitballing it. Like, music for, like Charan said, intros to Blender videos, and artists who have YouTube channels, they get music that's either licensed to you or Creative Commons or however you license it. I think that could be a thing to look into, man.
For sure. It's
And
definitely.
Agne from Renderites,
Hmm.
he does amazing music.
Who does?
Oh yeah,
If you
Agnew.
didn't,
Oh,
Agne from
Renderites. Yes.
Did you
Yes.
think it's not? Yeah.
No, I've long struggled with figuring out what exactly to I guess the right word would be monetize or share or both, because I have a lot of fun doing all of these things, and it's not something that hasn't crossed my mind. Like, I would just happily, and I get such a kick out of seeing on Reddit often when people say, I made a whole album of Creative Commons music that you can use on your videos, and it's like 57 tracks, and you listen to some of them are great, and they're just putting this out there for free. So I want to similarly do that, but I think it's
Yeah.
the organization bit of putting all that together, that overhead.
Most of the
It's a little
time,
bit
like,
daunting.
yeah. Most of the time people put it on Patreons as well. Like if you want to like access any of their videos, you can just become a Patreon for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
I saw like
Yeah.
because I wanted something for my tile kit introduction video, and I just went through again like YouTube, and I couldn't find the better ones. But I did like many which they say it's CC0, but to download them I have to be a Patreon for them.
Hmm.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
fine, never mind.
That's an interesting approach. It's the if you're a Patreon supporter at a certain level, then you get access to my backlog of work, which is, I prefer to do it CCBY, because then they give credit to you, and that brings
Yeah.
potential for more audience to come to your Patreon, hear your other tracks, etc., etc. And you can still put them out for free, but I don't know, either the licensing or the backlog is available to people who support you on Patreon. That's one way of monetizing, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to definitely pick all of your brains after, between this month, because I that's something. Hold me to it in the comments. Something I want to do this month. Something I have to do. Just 2021 is the year. Let's go.
Yeah, talking about like what all we are gonna do in this 2021. I saw people putting out their plans in Twitter recently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Aaron did one and Syncratic did one. And I thought like maybe I should also do one, and I did it personally in a box. And yeah, the main ones are like Learning Houdini and Substance Designer, which I downloaded today. I had Houdini back then, but like I did some stuff with Houdini, but Substance I started today and I already see the power of it.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for me because there's so many nodes and so many maps. Like grunge, they have like some 10 to 15 grunge types.
Did you
over
say
there.
grunge? Stepping on my turf? Joking. Ambient grunge. Buy it now on Gumroad and Blender Market. Sorry, carry on.
And yeah, it's not using ambient occlusion, by the way. It's for surface details. Like, you can add a bump, I guess. Like, and it's amazing. And that's when I realized like this is what Blender lacks.
Mm.
You can use like combining procedural stuff with realistic stuff is what people should be doing. Like people download these maps, right? Like from like Texture Haven or anything, and they just plug everything to the principal socket and they do nothing after that.
Yeah.
What I think they could be doing is like they can use the surface details and they can use like any other procedural texture, like the tile generator I have. But the surface details and the height maps are good, right? So they can just subtract that particular height map from mine, like the bricks, and they can get like amazing patterns from it.
Yeah.
That's what I realized, and yeah, I think I should be
Yeah,
doing a
I
tutorial on
think what I like about
semi-procedural workflows.
Yeah, you'll have to get
Yeah.
that media out there as soon as possible so that people, get it gets more traction. People click on the link and so on. What I really
Yeah.
like about your tile generators and that sort of stuff is that this is, I think, where even game design and movie design is going, and that is use a procedural system to generate the realistic texture, and something like your node
Yeah.
groups do that. Then if you need a photograph or a high-res bitmap or UV map for another program or a PBR texture or whatever, you bake that out of your procedural.
Yeah.
But because you've made that procedural texture yourself, you kind of own it,
Yeah.
Yep.
You haven't downloaded
Yeah.
off a photo image
Yeah.
bank or something like that.
Yeah.
You created that. I think it's really
Yeah.
powerful.
Did you all
And
see
what-
the node tree, the literal node tree made with geometry nodes? It's a procedural tree. I forget who posted it. Saw it this morning
I don't think so.
on
Oh,
Twit
no.
on the old
Twitter?
Twitter. Let's see, geometry node tree. So tangential, but it's great. It kind of hits that point. It's sorry, I'll find it. But
Oh yeah, I got it.
the
Yeah.
tree, the tree is just, it's crazy. Well, I guess I'll add a link here after
It's
we
in the
post it so you can see it.
Yeah, here it is. It's in the voice chat text. Is that the one?
Okay, remind me to put this in the description of the podcast episode. And
I can put it in the
Yeah.
comments.
Okay,
Oh
cool.
yes, this one. Wait.
Yeah.
That looks
Chris is
great.
going to frantically write down notes.
Jeez.
Oh my god, that's geometry.
Yes, that
Oh,
was the
no.
one. It's so crazy.
I like it. That's super powerful and good.
It's insane. Yeah, just
Let me like
somebody-
and retweet that.
yeah.
Hey Michael, by the way.
Yeah. Yo, dog, we heard you
there
like
we go.
trees.
Oh, Michael is here.
Hey,
Hey.
How you doing?
is this a CG background?
No. I've moved. We started getting work done in the office, so I thought rather than moving backwards and forwards, I'd just move the office to once and move it into a bedroom.
Ah, there we go. I'm liking the yellow ambiance. It's very nice.
I've got hardly any light in this room. I've bumped the camera up to something like 3200 on the ISO. So
Oh.
Yeah. I'm at 800
I just see a
right
really
now.
nice color composition there. The shirt, the chair, that everything's in lovely.
all
warm
totally
tones.
planned. All totally planned.
Framing of an artist.
So
What have you
did
been
it
working on?
did it start earlier, or is it just?
So
No,
we
we
said
were
we
just
were gonna
here.
we said we were gonna start at 8, but then like a bunch of us were already ready, so we were like, well, let's just chill.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And so if I start hearing voices, I'm just gonna bug out. And the wife starts work today, and so I'm on kid duty.
Right.
My
Oh,
kids have just gone back to their mums, so I've got less kids in the house to deal with.
What's going on with the schools now? I'm so confused. Because like I think because of COVID and that, my brother I think is supposed to be going back to work, but we're trying to convince him not to because I don't want to catch anything. I don't know.
What I understand so far is that the primary schools are all going back, apart from some London ones, is what I was
Right.
hearing.
Okay.
And then secondary schools are doing a phased transition where they're not all going back at once.
Right. Okay.
And then probably in March we'll have another full lockdown. You know, an annual thing I think now they're planning on.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Lock everybody down for 9 months every March.
we're in tier 4 where I am.
Yeah, we are as well now.
Yeah. I don't think they should be going back right now. 'Cause,
Definitely not.
things are spiking. Things are spiking up pretty bad.
This new
Yeah.
variant that's going around in the UK at the moment is apparently really transmittable by children,
Yeah.
whereas the first iteration of it didn't really care for children too much, but this one is apparently. So
Hmm.
I agree with you there. But
Yeah, like, I mean, I've said this on the podcast before, and I don't like to get too political, but I think it is common sense. Like, early on in the whole lockdown thing, they said, oh, we don't have much information that, it's really, spreading between kids at school. And then I remember on the podcast, I said, like, are you thick? Have you been to a school? Do you understand this is like the place for viruses, And even now,
Yeah.
they're
I
like...
pick up my kids from school and I just see vectors for disease.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yep.
even now they're saying, oh, we don't think there's any danger. Like, they take it around with them. Like, they bring it back. The school...
They should have
schools are the reason why it's this bad. Like, I don't think there's any other kind of institution in the country that festers disease more than schools, especially primary schools.
Well,
So we don't think
within a
this-
week. Oh, sorry, Arturo, you go on.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, within a week of the kids going back to school in September, I had a cold.
Yep.
Now that's pure anecdote, but
Yeah.
it seems to happen every year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they said we don't think there's any danger. Should have
Yeah.
stopped at think.
Yeah.
We
We
don't
don't think.
Stop.
I've been living in this bedroom for years, right? Maybe a bit depressing, but I've turned it into a job, so you give
Harry
and
Potter.
take. But I still get sick. And the reason I still get sick is because my brother works at a primary school. So he brings it back. So I can't escape it. I'm in the most protected environment in this tiny square bedroom, and I still get sick. So I'm annoyed.
My kid's school's got a really weird policy. It's like, okay, parents are not allowed into the grounds. Drop your kids off, wear your masks as you're dropping them off. And then the kids go in and they hug each other and they touch everything and whatever. And then they come out where the parents are not allowed to go in so that the parents don't spread anything to the kids. And so the kids are coming from a home, going to school, touching each other, and then going to their friends are going off to different homes, but it's not spreading.
One of the first things I saw in about March was a parent on Twitter rightfully freaking out, saying, "I sent my kid to school with like a green mask, and she came back with a pink mask or an orange mask or something." And it's like, of course they're going to be trading masks. It's like,
Trading. Oh, right.
yeah, just trading masks. Like, oh, I like that one. I want the Ninja Turtles mask. Can I have that one? Trade you for my SpongeBob mask.
I think we found something worse than not wearing masks, and that's trading masks.
masks.
Yeah.
Oh, this whole thing is
I
just so
didn't hear it,
stupid.
no. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So how was everyone's 2020? How's everyone's New Year?
Yeah,
How's
let's
how's
recap.
2021 treating you?
It's the first episode of the year, so let's do a recap or
Way!
something. Yeah, way!
Happy New Year!
2021. Woo.
Yes. I could get an alcoholic beverage right now, but I'm a responsible dad, and it's only not even 7 a.m. So maybe, yeah. Look at you, Brits.
It's what time is it here? It's 3 p.m. here, so you could have one for me.
I've finished.
I can get a glass of water.
I'll have some kombucha. There's alcohol in kombucha.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
So, okay, favorite moment of 2020, if anyone has one.
The laughing fit that we had on BlenderNest. Which one?
Oh my god, yeah.
Uh,
That was fantastic, Kev.
Thank you, Kev. Thank you so much.
yeah.
I will do a funniest moments one day. I want to do it. I need to go back. But I need you guys to remind me of the things that happened, because I've got some in my head. Like, there's quite a lot relating to Tom. But
Yeah.
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 Or, was it Tom hanging his camera out of his window?
Yeah, and
fishing with the
fishing
camera.
his headphones. And it was just the one bit that cracked me up more than anything else was that after he was done, he put them on and he looked up and he just had this stupid grin on his face, and I just lost it at that point. Oh
Yeah.
god.
Well, speaking of Tom, probably playing hacky sack with him, which is what and it led me to be on here. So that was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I must say the year's gone incredibly quickly.
yeah.
Even though I've been stuck indoors for a lot of it, it's just whizzed past. I got tons done, but at the same time, it didn't feel like I got tons done. It was a really weird year for that.
I agree. The
Yeah.
feeling is strange.
I got to say that 2020 was surprisingly good for that. As much of a dumpster fire as the year was, I don't think anyone came out unscathed. I managed to achieve a lot. It was like, okay, what do I have to do? Lockdown, right? What can I do in this space? And that's just how I think. It's like, here's the situation. What's the best thing I can do it? And the reason I got my camera pointed at my junk pile over there is because the other way just makes me look like a jock, because I bought myself a weights bench and some weights. I'm not going back to that gym. If you think schools are festy, gyms are worse. And during the whole COVID thing, it was like, I called them up at one point. I said, so what's your COVID policy? And they went, oh, no, it's business as usual. There's just wipe your bench down with a towel. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Really?
no, I'm not.
Spread
cancel
it
myself
round,
for
yes. Spread it round everywhere.
Yeah,
Get
spread
that
it.
towel.
Just a Picasso of COVID, along the bench. Very nice.
If you like that person's Ninja Turtle towel, swap it with your Hello Kitty one. I mean, that's totally okay.
And for me, it was more like the growth as a Blender artist was immensely powerful this time. Like honestly, like I learned a lot, and especially like with the Discord servers, because it was like everyone is in home and everyone has less work compared to normal days. Because like my age people who are in schools and stuff, they all sat together, started like sharing whatever they know, and Ben putting out more stuff and teaching us doing live streams. It helped a lot, and I learned a lot in this period of time than how much ever before that.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, I mean, the amount, and as well as like growing the YouTube channel, because people have time, they start watching my stuff, I guess, and it was really good. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's I'm actually sitting here for a long time, like sitting in the same place. Didn't really change for me. Like that's how I was before, and the same. So I didn't feel much of it,
Yeah.
like the effect of pandemic. Especially like being an extrovert. Like I can say I'm an extrovert because I talk to a lot of people. That decreased. So, but virtually I spoke to like lots of people, and especially in the BlenderNest, it was amazing. That's what I
Yeah.
can say.
And hey, Kev, by the way.
Hey, Kev.
Hey,
Kev.
Hey.
hey guys.
Hello.
Welcome to the
Your
Your
first.
turn.
turn. What was your favorite moment of
Happy
2020?
2020.
Yeah.
My favorite moment?
Yep.
Not commuting to
Or,
work
or a good thing that happened to you last year?
Not commuting.
last year. Oh,
Oh wait.
It was all pretty
What's
terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't have to commute to work.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think a lot of people.
But I mean, I still did. I did. But yeah, I got to spend more time at home with the family, for
Oh,
better
there
or
you go.
worse.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
Yeah. I think.
And
Oh, and the best. Okay,
Go.
what was it? It's nothing. It's just the best thing happened was BlenderNest started,
Yep.
yes,
That's true.
right?
yes.
And
Jan
BlenderNest.
22nd.
End of January. Yeah. Oh, you know the date.
Oh my gosh! that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
We've been doing it almost a year now.
Yeah.
We're like a couple of weeks short of a year.
Damn.
Yeah, when is 22nd? Is it a Sunday? Let's see.
Oh.
Yeah, BlenderNest was awesome. That was definitely a highlight.
Back in the day,
Um,
remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I've only missed 2 episodes.
That's
I
a
think
Friday.
2 or 3.
I think I missed one that was on like Mother's Day or Father's Day or something.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
chimed in for like part of it. But
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this has done pretty well. But yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it over the last couple of weeks, but we might want to try and do some new things with it this year. Just things that are a bit more fun, maybe a bit more chill, not always just talking. But actually,
Yeah.
speaking about podcasts and stuff, I've been talking to Charan about this. I might start a new one
Yeah.
by myself. Are you betraying BlenderNest? No, I'm not. No.
Yes. Yes.
You're taking on Blender Guru
Wow.
and his new
No,
podcast.
no. What
Yoko.
I mean is doing one on alongside BlenderNest, because with my channel, and I guess this is one of the good things about 2020, kind of giving me a lot of perspective on things, especially because of all the suffering with like all the breathing issues, and kind of like weighing up what's important on the channel and stuff like that. And I've identified areas that I'm displeased with the channel and areas that I'm happy with. And one of the main areas I'm not happy about is it doesn't feel like an emotional outlet for me anymore, like I kind of wanted it to be. So it needs to be more personal in that regard. And I can't talk about all the things I want to talk about on the channel at the moment because it's not relevant. So I can talk about things on here a bit, but again, it's not personal because it's very much a group. So Arturo would have seen that I did an exclusive podcast episode on Patreon. I don't know if where
Patreon.
I just sat down
I
and,
heard
and
that. That was really good, man.
yeah, I just sat down and talked for a
Yeah.
bit, and I was like, okay, well, let's just have some fun.
I liked it.
And then it got me thinking about like, okay, well, could do a second channel. Maybe I can do it on the main channel, but I just need like more of an outlet. So I might start that. It's not going to be like in competition with BlenderNest. It's not going to take me away from it. It's just because it's so easy to edit, like if it's just audio. But yeah, so that's just something that might happen. Just so you know.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's
Go
really
for it,
cool,
man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
keep channels personal is really a hard thing for anyone, right? Like because it's like kind of distracting from the actual flow that we are doing in the channel.
Yeah.
But still, that's how it has to be, you know. Like if the channel is more personal, you'll spend more work. I mean, you'll feel it less burden in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm working on something. I just want to put it out. Like whatever I'm working on, I can just make a video, talk about it, and just put it out. It's like more personal. It's like a diary. That's what I always wanted to be, my channel, you know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to just transfer from one sort of content to a different thing.
Yeah.
But slowly, even I think I'll do the same thing, you know, make it more personal.
Yeah. And
Because it's one of my career right now. Like I
Yeah.
want the career to be this way
yeah,
in the long term.
and you're starting to see that it's possible because I've been keeping track of your sales. You've been letting me know and like you know, all the little projects, and it's
Yeah.
really starting to open up for you, which is good.
Yeah.
So you're kind of at one of these crossroads point, and I feel like I'm at a new one now as well, because we mentioned this before I started recording, but the latest video I put out is some kind of exploded a bit compared to the other videos, and
Yeah, I saw that.
it's one of these kind of explanation format ones. It's more of like a storytelling. You know, we talked about this a few episodes ago as well, like the kind of video where you make something cool and then you just talk about it. I did this, by the way, I picked up, you know, this piece of knowledge, just in case you wanted to try it out. They're quite easy to make. They're quite fun to make because I tried a new psychological technique where I wasn't sitting down when I recorded. I stood up behind my chair and I kind of relaxed on the chair and I just like spoke freely, because I noticed that if I have a camera on, it ruins like my flow or like what I talk about. It's so I'm starting to identify these things. But I'm kind of thinking about like, well, what kind of videos do I want to put on the channel now? Because I've been moving away from tutorials. And I said this to Paul earlier as well, that I want to spend more time on each video now. This comes back to what you were saying, Kev, when we had our little chat last time, which is that, well, you look at your content and you think it's not super high quality. I mean, like, you could have enjoyed what you made, but if you want to give people a sense of value, like a sense of excitement, you've got to spend a bit more time on it. I'm at this point now where I'm looking at the channel. It's a full-time job already, so I feel like I have the freedom to, you know, migrate types of content a bit. I think, okay, well, maybe change the videos now so they're less frequent and add this more personal aspect of a podcast and see how that does. Like maybe experiment with this for 2021 and see if that works. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Hey Jacob, by the way.
Yeah, hey Jacob.
Hey guys. Hey
There he
guys,
is.
sorry, I'm having some mic issues. I gotta figure it out.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something. It's definitely something to having a more personal touch on the channel or a channel. It's something I've been struggling with, tottering between doing the tutorial type content that I'm inspired by you all to make, but at the same time, I feel like it's just not me, and I would much rather. And this is something I've been kind of. I guess this is my like rubber duck debugging and talking it out, but I much rather do things that I enjoy and create pieces of content. Like, hey, I made this short film and I use this ambient grunge node thing to do it. And you know, if you want to figure out how to do it, someone's already made that video, but I'm not going to explain it to you because that feels so much more me than sitting in front of a camera and explaining it. Like I can do it and I've done it in the past, but it doesn't feel like it's what I want to do right now.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I'm sure there are people struggling with this as well. If you're thinking about making a YouTube channel and going like, maybe I should make a channel for this and a channel for that, probably just start with the one. But Curtis, you've definitely already established the sort of audience of people that will carry through with you to whatever you're turning towards. And so it's just like an exciting part of your personal journey and excursion that they're joining you along for. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Talking about the channel audience as well, you know, Curtis, his personality and his Discord, it's really close. The people who comes to his channel do like his stuff and do like his personality. That's why they're coming there, right? So I think they'll understand even though if you change, they'll still like it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's always this balancing act between like the community you have and love and the potential community and like the income. And of course, like, I mean, Markham's been seeing this firsthand as well. If you bend too far, you break almost, like in that flow. There's no right or wrong way to do something, because it's always a measure up of you making the content you want to do, or you most effectively building an audience and fighting that with the algorithm. And that saying that we've always used, there are no solutions, only compromises. Finding the right way to do it. I don't know, but yeah, I've been speaking to you about like whether or not to do new types of content on a new channel. I always get to the point where I think, yeah, let's make a new channel, and then I back away from it. I think I'm not going to make a new channel, because I said this to Charan, that my channel is called Curtis Holt, and to me it's more like a diary of my projects or my ideas. So regardless of however it ends up like 10 years down the line, I think it's always going to be that. Whatever I think, whatever comes through like my mind and whatever I make, that's going to appear on the channel. I mean, and I get that there's lots of sensible reasons to do a separate channel, like lots of business reasons, organization, whatever. But for me, I think it'd be more appropriate if I kept everything on the same channel. And I've been looking at other YouTubers as well, kind of comparing those that have their own podcasts and do like creative content and seeing how their audience reacts. And some people have managed to do it really well on one channel, so it gives me a bit of confidence playing around with that idea.
The other thing, of course, with another channel or another business avenue, whichever way you decide to take things, is it's like having another child. Suddenly you've got this new thing that's going to crave attention and take it away from your other main things. It doesn't, or it will die, basically, if you don't give it attention. It's one of those two things, sadly. And if you're doing it as a passion project, then that's one thing. You can argue your time away with that one. But if you're looking at it from a business perspective with a business lens, you're always going to take, how can I boost this channel up? And you're going to get a ton of subscribers that just, maybe 10% of what you've already got, 5,000 people or whatever, will jump straight over to that channel and give it a nice big boost, which is always a great start. But at the same time, you're kind of torn between, well, which one do I pump out content to?
Yeah.
I think it comes down to what you were saying before, Curtis, which is you felt that you weren't making an emotional connection. You weren't feeling as though you were getting some sort of sense of release.
Yeah.
Or, no, that's not a way to put it.
It makes sense.
What am I trying to say? How did you phrase it?
I smile.
Well, yeah. It's difficult to make a connection.
This bit. Let's start this one.
No, I'm leaving it in. Let more suffer a compilation.
Are you Jacob?
What's up?
How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Jacob?
How am I doing? I'm doing well now that you just said that.
Oh, Jacobs, yeah. So we asked each other what our favorite moment of 2020 was. Now, obviously, it was quite a depressing year, but if you had a favorite moment, then what would it be?
Give me some time to think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a difficult one.
Juggling two channels is really, really tough. Like I think he's CG Matter's not on here right now. But he did it really well. Because he had this, short kind of meme focused channel. And then he wanted to still do his long form stuff, but he realized he couldn't do that on the channel that became the meme channel. So he started Default Cube, and it did really well. I mean, they're both over 100,000 subscribers. So
yeah, definitely,
he figured it out. I couldn't do that. I don't have. I keep coming back to time, and I had 2 weeks off of work, and honestly, this has been a testament to how I cannot get anything done with people around. So if you have nobody around and you're on your own, cool. You can do anything, man. You got people around. That's you can't.
Yeah.
Every single 5 minutes is dominated by somebody else needing something. Is all right. I mean, that's what I chose, but I do have one video coming out that's gonna probably get 1,000 views, but it's gonna be awesome. So
good.
But other than that, this week, this whole week off or 2 weeks off has been a wash.
There's a joke I make in a video that is unreleased for the time being because I have to reshoot it since Cyberpunk is no longer relevant. But in the video, in the video I say, just because it's got 120 views doesn't mean 120 people didn't love it. And I think the same sentiment applies to 1,000, Kev.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does.
You make a good point there, Kev, about if you build upon something you've already got. So CG Matter and Default Cube, he does his long format, but from that, he's got all of the footage he needs to make the short format version. So if you can build up like that, it works really well. And I noticed on your channel, Curtis, you've done more talking head type stuff, more exploratory, more self-help, things along those lines. And I think it suits your channel really well to have that mix and match of the two, rather than trying to Curtis's self-help channel. I mean, what is that? Because it's something else, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
It's still not self-contained within your sphere.
Yeah. I am
basically like breaking your half and just putting it somewhere else, like a Horcrux, which is not good.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. It's like tearing your soul apart and just bonk. This whole, like, my recent video blowing up is kind of, it's making me realize more than ever, and we already know this, the slightest difference makes a huge impact to like viewership. Like, if you did a thumbnail in a slightly different way, it wouldn't get picked up. Or if you chose a slightly different title, it would never get picked up. So it makes you think about presentation. And the discussion ones are quite messy. And if you look at the channel, it's kind of inconsistent and it's a bit weird. So I was thinking, okay, well, if I had a podcast with the longer form episodes on the channel with a very different style, it would be much easier for people to identify. So only the people that, you know, really want to see that content would go for it. And the actual creative things would look very different, much more vibrant. I want to keep it all on the channel. As you say, I do feel like it's got a good place on there, but just work on the presentation a bit.
Do you think the title...
Go on, Arturo.
I was going to ask Curtis if he thinks the title helped the end of photogrammetry.
Oh yeah, if I didn't put that,
I think that
it wouldn't have been picked.
It would not have been picked up if I didn't use that title.
Because I immediately knew. Obviously, like, we've had these conversations like on and off BlenderNest, but if I was like, I know exactly what this video is about, and I was like, damn, that's a clever title. This guy.
Yeah. Like, I sat there thinking, God, I'm glad I chose that title, because if I just went for the regular kind, like using LiDAR scans in Blender, it, you know, would be on like, I don't know, 2,000 views right now.
There are videos on that. Like, I saw like few videos where it's down in the bottom when I scroll down, but this one was on the top when I said LiDAR and Blender. And what I was about to say was, the next thing I'm going to plan on my channel is collaborations with you guys. You can model something and send it over, and I can texture it. I was just thinking.
I like that.
Yeah, and there's another, like, I'm planning another photorealism series. It won't be really photorealistic, but yeah, better than many other like procedural stuff that I made back then. Because I'm getting better, I really want to put it out, so it'll be there, so I can just refer back again. Like, I already forgot how I did the first cookie for November, but I still have the stream, so I can just go check it out. It's how it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, so collabs as in, it doesn't matter, like, if you have a product, like, you know, affiliate links, that's one thing, but actually using it on some actual stuff, like using the products that you guys made is something, like the Urban Pack by Paul, which is work in progress right now. That's phenomenal. Like, I was building this scene, like an alley scene, right, Curtis? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that looked good.
But I'm planning to do it again, but using the Urban Pack and the modular metals of yours, like, you know, combining all these packs and just building an artwork with it. Like, people should know, like, you don't have to model everything from scratch. Using other stuff is good too. Like, that's something which I struggled in the very beginning as well. I mean, everyone struggles because it doesn't feel your own, but it's your idea and it's your story. Building a story up with whatever you have is fine, right? So I'm just planning on doing some stuff like that. It is a big plan for 2021, like learning others, like learning Houdini, learning Substance, and doing all this stuff. But still, I'm going to put everything out on my channel. Thank God I didn't name it like a Blender things or something. It's just 3D things. Doesn't matter whatever 3D it is.
Every time we mention names.
Blender
it's about to change.
Nice. Finally.
Yeah.
Binge.
Oh,
I got it with the rollout of the new video. I think it's changing.
Sweet.
So,
I saw your logo had changed.
Yes,
that's amazing.
My logo
like
changed on
logo.
It changed on Twitter.
Yeah,
which is kind of the I mean, I'm pretty stuck with the name Binge, but I'm just gonna call it Kev Binge.
Just Kev things.
Yeah. I wish I could, but that's probably like taken a million times already. It would have to be like Kev 11345638. Your mother's maiden name.
Kev.
Algebra something. Like
first.
So, yeah. But it'll probably just end up being Kev Binge, and that's it. I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool when you look at it. some people will go, Kev bitch, but whatever, like whatever, I don't care. So like I already factored
Now they
that
will.
in. Yeah, exactly. That one's already baked in, so whatever.
Oh man.
But I don't care.
Ooh.
It'll be it's memorable.
So
So
get it
I
right.
like
This is where
that
you
logo.
binge on
Thanks.
Kevin.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
right.
Totally different.
Binge
Yeah.
on Kevin. That's
I
right.
like
And
it.
I'm taking it in a different, not like away from Blender, but I'm gonna be bringing other stuff in that I use on the
Production
channel,
ready.
and do more of like the storytelling type, thing, because I just, it is more enjoyable than trying to do just a straight video and then having like a million people come, a better technique would be this or this or this. It's like, yeah, I get it, but that's not what worked for me at the time to get this result. So like it kind of gets away from that, where like instead of like me dictating how to do something, it's like, hey, this is a way I figured out to make this work. There are other ways, but this worked, and look at the result. And it's a much more fun experience.
Yeah, Aaron recently tweeted something to that effect. I think they said, just because a tutorial artist does something a specific way doesn't necessarily mean that's the best way to do it.
Exactly.
It just means that that's what worked for them. And I think that's what a lot of people don't get when they look at videos. Because I've seen some of the people in this channel's videos and gone, oh, but somebody else did it completely different and achieved the same result. And at the end of the day, does it really matter unless we're being like specific about, computational efficiency or whatnot? Like if it gets a project done, then, that's great.
Yeah.
Like back to what Charan was saying about, using other people's tools is something Ellie and I were talking about yesterday about, like we're now at a point where we can model things that look like they are real and they don't look bad. So we can just have a library of things that we've modeled that we can source from and kind of collage in a way. And that's a totally valid way of working as well. Even though I didn't model the lemon that I'm using that they made, I can still just up and grab it, just as anyone on watching this can grab something from Sketchfab and put something together like Beeple. So that's definitely a totally valid way of working as well, and it's just really about the artistic expression. That's the important bit. And
I've suffered from this a lot in the past. A great example is actually pointing at Curtis's video where you went and grabbed a dropship, a spaceship from Sketchfab, and then you were demonstrating techniques using a really cool asset. Yeah, you could have done that with. We're going to spend 30 seconds modeling something real quick, sure, bam, and then teach the technique. But it wouldn't have looked anywhere near as fantastic as it did using the other asset. But your whole tutorial wasn't about making that asset; it was about making that asset look awesome.
Yeah,
which is something a lot of people leave out.
Yeah,
that's the volumetrics, right?
Yes, it was create beautiful atmospheric effects in Eevee. That was it.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Not
video.
making spaceships.
Yeah.
Commenters. Jeez.
Disclaimer.
It does come back.
Yeah.
It does come back to that whole marketing thing. Like if there's one thing that I learned last year, it was that the videos that had really big, view counts had this really cool image to work with, and then you just watch it for 2 minutes, and you're just like, oh, they didn't make that. They were just using that to demonstrate this, and you don't exactly feel cheated, but like it is a bit of that, smoke and mirrors, sizzle versus steak thing, where you could do it with a Susan Monkey head because it's there, but a spaceship looks way cooler than just like a primitive cube next to a sphere next to a Susan Monkey head. Which you get it's about technique. There needs to be a bit of a wow factor, and I think that really what sets some videos or some content apart. Everyone's got like libraries and just like menus of videos, and it has to stand out from the crowd. And so like I think it's a really good thing to do.
Yeah, like this comes like while selling products, you just don't sell the material, you do some demo files as well, right, to show the wow factor. And or else like if you just don't show the use case of what it can be achieved, right? Like for example, for modular metals, Curtis took some blend files from other people and put on the metal.
Yeah, the photo scans like for the statues.
Sculptures.
Perfect.
And exactly.
Yeah, that's something I want to really dive into 2021 as well, because Charan, Curtis, and Paul, you all have, like, I've opened your demo files and files that you've made available, and it's like, it's totally different experience from just opening Blender and importing everything in, because you lay everything out just so differently from one another and just from the native Blender. It's just very clean to look at. So it makes me wonder, like, do I really need this scripting tab if I'm not going to have it open, or compositing, you know, or can I package something in a way that makes it an experience as well for someone to just open the damn thing, not even look around it, because that's part of the presentation there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like opening a physical product.
Right.
There's no doubt that Apple makes some of the best opening of boxes experience you can get.
Yeah.
And it does make that whole thing where you're like, please don't be upside down when it
Yeah.
that sort of thing. It's
they're good.
I don't know. Presentation with those sorts of things is really, really important. It's really difficult to get right. It'd be like trying to sell someone a house and just showing them a brick. You know, you can build a house. You'd be like, buy it. Like, how about the actual thing? Can I have that, please?
Sorry, that's just that's just such a stupid image of like speaking to like a realtor. That can I see the house?
Yeah. It's made of these.
A lot of these.
Yeah.
Well, there's a table with like 5 bricks, and is like I just went to an inspection. Yeah, there was. And they're just shooting from bricks.
Yeah.
This is your modular kit. Build what you want with it. It's like, oh, come on, please show me an example.
Yeah. But one thing that I've now that you've all sort of mentioned it, I'm planning to release this little set, and it's just an experimental one to begin with. And I'm still not sure, you know, in what configuration I'm going to put it out in. I'm getting there. But the whole point is that, yes, there were these bits of building that you could stick together any way you wanted. But it fast became apparent using the other programs outside of Blender, Clip Studio Paint primarily, and then Unreal Engine 4. I realized that there was a great need for these little prefabs. And so the models just wouldn't come with a door, 3 windows, a corner, a roof. I had to do some configurations which were also available that say, okay, here is a footpath, here is a level 1, a level 2, and in different styles. So that people could, you know, take 30 seconds and just piece together 3 FBX files, and bang, you've got an apartment block. But what's more, because they're all separate pieces, you can then just swap them out with the library assets. And so there's almost like a base, and it becomes a bit like those game assets, you know, when you're doing like a Fallout 4 establishment of, what do they call them? Settlement or something like that.
Yeah.
And you got your base house, but then you can swap out your path. That everything's sort of becoming a bit gamified anyway. And so it took a lot of trial and error until those pennies dropped, and it just becomes so obvious that, making it easy by showing people what they can do. It is, I think, Michael, your analogy of brick versus going to see the house is spot on.
But by the way, Jacob, have you had a haircut?
I have, It's like my first like real one of the year.
I was gonna say it looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, there's this super fancy place in my city, and they had a buy one get one, so I couldn't pass that up.
Who got the other one?
The other haircut?
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming. Yeah, but I'm curious. So thinking, first off, to answer your question on 2020, I think my one of the highlights was meeting this group and talking with all of you, and it's been huge. But looking forward to 2021, I'm curious because me personally, I really like setting goals and writing them down. I've been thinking about what is success, like how do I define success, you know, both in work and in life in general, but in work specifically, especially with this group. I'm curious what you guys think defines success for you, because I was thinking about writing a goal like, oh, it'd be sweet to have, 100K subscribers. But then I'm like, well, what does that really mean if I reach that? Like, what value does that provide? So maybe that's not the best way to define it.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Ken? Revenue. Yeah.
Everything.
But maybe it's like income. I'm just curious to know what you guys are aiming for and what that looks like. Or maybe you haven't thought about it yet. It's early new year. So.
Well, like when I was in school, because I hated school, like my one goal in life was don't work for anyone. which is a really immature goal.
Yeah.
But I mean, like a lot of people have that goal, right? It's just actually making it work is the difficult bit. But so what I've come to realize now is that like I've already reached it. So what's the goal now? Because like that was the goal for years. Like that was like the big existential look, if you do that you'll be happy. And I'm like, okay, well you have that, so what's your next existential goal? Like what are you gonna do?
Not getting bored.
So well, like I've reached a point now where it's like, well, revenue isn't the goal anymore. Because if I'm already at a kind of sustainable level, it's like, well, you just keep doing what you're doing and it's working, so it's fine. Stop worrying about it. That's no longer an issue. So now for me, it's becoming an emotional goal, which is what we've been talking about. Because once you've got that out the way, that's a barrier gone, and now it's like a I guess a personal journey for happiness, really. And I do enjoy my work, so now it's just looking for something deeper, whether that's like relationships with other people or whatever. So yeah, and I guess because you have no way of predicting how or like the people you'll meet or the relationships you'll find or develop with people you already know, there's no way to plan that into a goal, if that makes sense. So I don't know, that's just my thoughts.
It's kind of on a similar boat where I've spent the first like 22 plus maybe years of my life skating by in more ways than one, and the past 4 have been very formative and grounding, and I've gained a lot of confidence in the things that I do. And I have this lighter here that I had a friend, he was selling lighters and carving stuff into them. And I wrote some rules to live by, or had him write them on there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, there we go.
That's pretty much
I love it.
Yeah.
So I want to adhere to these
Nice.
and continue adhering to them. Oh, whoops, wrong way. And I'm trying to figure out what that means. So I might have an answer maybe on some different episode. But I think for this year, it just means organizing myself so that I can achieve rule number 1, do what I want always, and then kind of grounding myself a bit more and being a more sentient, sort of an enlightened being, so I can achieve rule number 2, which is to not be an a-hole.
Wonderful.
For me, it's more like, right, I'm going to graduate from my engineering soon, like in a few months, like in 2021. Right after I graduate, I don't want to, like, what can I say? I want a sustainable life, like independent sort of thing. So I really want to like start earning properly. And the new product gave me confidence recently, like it's working out and I'm really happy. So I thought maybe I should do more products as well. And also like while doing, I'm really happy because it's getting over. Like I chose this path from engineering because I do love engineering, but I found this as like expressing myself out, like, artwork. So I thought this is more like, it's kind of like priorities changed. That's all I can say. So I want to make sure that by the end of my graduation, I should be having a sustainable life with whatever I'm doing. That's a goal for now.
Yeah.
Once that is done, then I'll plan future. For now, that's it.
Do you think you'll try and get a job in engineering?
I might, but no. It's like
if you can help.
I do
it,
have the
you're gonna try.
qualification. Yeah, like I do have a qualification to get a very good job in engineering right now, but I don't want to. That's the problem. Like I can, like if at all, if I can just go to any good company with my resume and they'll give me a job. Like they'll test some. Hopefully if I pass they will. But I don't think so I'll be happy because just like Curtis, I always wanted to be like not work under someone, like if that makes sense. Because if someone keeps bossing around me like, okay, do this by this time, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's very simple, like because it pressurizes me, and normally if I do what I love, I don't sleep until it gets over, like if that's the case. If I have like a pressure on that, I won't enjoy the time, like even though if it's overtime, if I'm not sleeping much, I do enjoy what I'm doing, but if it's under pressure, I don't think I can enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I always don't, I always wanted it to be like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't want to work under someone. And it's as Curtis said.
Sorry. Kev's having a laughing fit.
You good, Kev?
I'm sorry. I'm listening to my younger self, who in my head still exists, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, what? Yeah.
I can see it ticking away.
Just
in Kev's
keep going
face.
on.
He's having
Keep going on. I'll add my piece later. Get it out there.
It's your younger
Nice.
Tanner self, Kev.
I know.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the long-term goal is to become a good teacher and an influencer, if that makes sense. Like, I like to teach stuff, but I do like to teach in a different way. Like explaining math with Blender, which is more visual and entertaining. That's what like all my comments says, like, I never saw math in this way.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, because I love math. I do want to show it in a different way, so people do find it interesting. Like, for example, let's say optics. Okay, optics is all about physics, light rays and stuff. Instead of like just writing the equations, if you show like how a render engine works and what actually happening there, explaining the render engine while teaching optics would be amazing. Like that would have made more sense, because it's more visual and you can see the colors, like the diffuse color, like light is passing through, but then it's only outputting one color because everything else is absorbed. And yeah, that's the diffuse color of it. So I was I was just reading all these articles and I was like, you can teach this better, like in a different way than the regular academic stuff. So I do want to build my perspective around teaching in such a way that it's more interesting, entertaining, and visual than theoretical. I want it to be more practical. So that's what I'm learning. Whatever I'm doing, I'm learning in such a way that I should be able to explain this to a person easily and visually. So only then I think I do have some content within myself.
Yeah. Before we move on to Kev's thing, I want to say about the whole like don't want to work under anyone mentality, which like so many people have.
Yeah.
I want to add a little bit of a disclaimer for me, because like when I was younger, that was definitely the main point of like what I wanted, because I felt very trapped in school. Like couldn't really connect with anyone, always wanted to be outside. I might have snuck out of school a couple of times, but but it was like I don't want to be part of this system, you know. I just want to exist, explore, stuff like that. As I got older, you kind of realize that there are people more like you, and you kind of think, okay, well, I could work with them, that would be okay, but it's difficult to find jobs like that, you know. So it's like the best alternative is work for yourself. So that's what it is like for me, you know. Like I could work for someone, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, and it's something that's completely doable right now to be self-employed. And that's maybe part of the reason why it's so daunting for a lot of people, because the only thing really getting in the way is yourself and obviously the homework that you have to do. But to that point as well, like I think I've always wanted to, you know, do what I want always, and also not work under someone, but finding the right people to work under. But you can learn a lot, and you have to be open for it. So there's always what were you saying? Compromises and
there are no solutions, only compromises.
That so that it's, you know, there's a bit to both freedom, school, learning.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Arturo, when you say do what you want always, does that mean like professionally or just like anything?
I think it means anything. I think I like Curtis said, a lot of people share this mentality of not wanting to work under somebody, or not enjoying being told what to do. And I think obviously under certain scopes it makes sense, right? Like murder is not okay, so that doesn't fall into do what I want always. And that's why there's rule number 2 on there, which is don't be an asshole. And people have asked me, like, so what happens if what you want to do makes you, you know, an a-hole? I'm doing this for Curtis's bleeping out later. And then I just say, just read rule number 2, which is don't be an a-hole. So I think so long as what I'm doing doesn't negatively impact somebody else, but it's something that I actually want to do, then I should try not to let things get in the way. But I found that the thing that gets the most in the way is actually me. So there wasn't enough room for a third rule on here, but I'm still working on what that one might be.
Don't step on your own feet.
Don't step on your own feet. Yeah, I think professionally, it's been more apparent lately that I want to express all the things that I feel with all of my interests. So whether that be 2D, 3D art, or music, and it's something that I was always told wasn't lucrative, but I've pulled back the veil and have discovered that that was a blatant lie. So because of that, now it's just about finding the right way to do it and not getting too caught up in beating the algorithm. Because I think that's another thing. Like, this is a tangent now, but it doesn't fit into doing what I want always if I just hold myself back because my titles aren't catchy enough or I don't have the right thumbnails.
So
Gotcha.
Kev needed to answer the original question. Were you gonna?
Yes, I was. It's morphed now, so I don't know where it's gone, but just listening to the you know, the don't want to work for anybody else, don't want to work under anyone else. It's a good goal to have. It really is. I find though that as you get older and your priorities start changing, and you meet, you know, your significant other or whatever, like life kind of just starts piling on. And I and the older guys in here could probably attest to that. Like it especially like, okay, like some people will say, oh my god, I can't get married. Married is like that's like I don't. But marriage is like that's like the easy part, and then kids, like, forget it. Like that just like, oh my god, like you can't even imagine. So like everything you want to do, like I'm listening to this and I'm laughing because it that was my ethos. I mean, it still is. I don't think I'd be doing my YouTube channel and trying to escape, you know, corporate America if it weren't still there pushing me. But it does get exponentially harder. So it's cool to have those like idealistic dreams and hold on to those and cement those dreams as goals. And like, so it's kind of cool that I can tell you guys, like, just do it now and don't stop, because life is going to start piling on. And it really, 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 really piles on. And, you know, I look at my own life and I'm like, well, I could have stayed in New York. I had like 2 mortgages. So I was like going to buy like some, you know, property in a place that had I bought in like this one area, it would have skyrocketed. I'd be a millionaire at least on paper right now, but I didn't want to stay there. So I wanted to move to, I wanted to live in California. So I met a producer and he convinced us, you know, it'd help us make a soft landing. So we packed up and, you know, in a month, rolled the dice and moved to LA. I quit my job. I had nothing out here and, you know, made it work. But in doing so, life piled on. And I liked the idea that I wanted to be my own thing, but I realized quickly that going into like a production environment where I didn't want to, like, initially I didn't want to go into at the very beginning, I didn't want to go where I work now. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I wanted to work in entertainment solely. And once I got in and I went on the interview and I realized they're really cool people, I started working with some amazingly nice people, like no egos, none of that stuff. It was just all awesome. And I started learning from really good people. And I became much better, much faster than I ever would have on my own. Or like, because for a while I was doing freelance on my own and I was like in, you know, online finding whatever I could on CG Talk, on Spin Quad, you know, Lightwave user groups or whatever. And you can learn from that. But when you're like in the heat of production with deadlines looming and it's crunch time and you're just feeling that weight, you will become so much better in such a compressed time frame because you have no other choice. Like it's either that or you don't buy food for the next month because you're looking for work. So it's like it's a give or take. So in wanting to work for yourself, it's awesome. And I say do it. If that's what you want, do it. I think that's great. But there are benefits, like you guys were saying. There are benefits to working for other people, but they have to be the right people.
Yeah.
Like Arturo said and like Curtis said, it has to be, you guys are right. You're spot on. It has to be the right people, because if you're working for a-holes, man, I can tell you stories of some of my friends out here that worked for some people I'm just never going to mention ever professionally because it's just not who I am. But I mean, I'd never want to set foot in those places ever. And then there are other places that are amazing. And I just happen to find one. It's like not even in entertainment, but it's like really, really cool. And it's a production environment. And we're all really good. And a lot of people have come from Hollywood. And you just learn. And I worked with one guy right from the start who was absolutely phenomenal. This guy could go from scratch and burn out 5 shots a day for an animation and have it be quality and have the client buy off almost with minimal changes, and I learned his production style, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And it allows you to just work insanely fast and get pretty good results. So it's give or take, But like what I was saying, life starts piling on, and it's how do you scale that? Because for me, moving from New York, which was pretty high priced, to Los Angeles, which got like ridiculous really quickly, like you got to keep scaling. And one of the only ways to keep scaling is have steady income. And have in America we have a 401k system, which I think is kind of stupid, but we have it anyway. And I was able to actually get pension too, which is nobody gets anymore. But like you kind of got to start scaling that and figuring out, all right, well, how do I have a family in a really stupid expensive place, and what do I have to do, and like can I work for myself and keep that up? Can I match the level that I'm making it work? And it just becomes like this race. So
yeah,
it was funny listening to that, because it was like listening to myself.
Yeah, you've got that rebellious young musician heart still in there.
I do. It never materialized for me, but that doesn't mean it can't. It's just the older I get, I have to put a mask on and be like, Slipknot. So nobody knows how old I am, but I'm still out there, like, shredding. But it is what it is.
That was
still inside
that's exactly that's what even I think. Like, right people is good, wrong people, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah,
I
because it's just like headache, it's just your headache. You have to like, it's unmotivational. That's what I can say.
It is.
Like, it doesn't motivate you.
I'm working with a guy right now teaching me Houdini, who's like, he's been using it since Prisms, before it was called Houdini, and just absolutely phenomenal. I work with great people, and it really makes a huge difference.
The team I joined, I joined a team with 3 producers, cinematographers, and sort of just artists in their own right. And I learned so much that it was kind of like hitting a speed ramp on Mario Kart, because I went from knowing very little to knowing a lot. And I still feel like I go in and learn at least 2 new things every day. But the first year was so crucial, because I had no clue about so many. So every day I was just taking notes on all the things that I learned, and then going home and doing research. And you do, from having the right leadership, gain so much confidence in what you're doing, and so much knowledge as well. And that's crucial. And being in a place where people enable you to make mistakes and allow you to learn from those mistakes and give you the freedom to do that is something that's been incredibly helpful for me, to the point where when I wasn't doing that anymore and I was doing freelance, I was confident in knowing, like, this is my worth, this is what I can do, this is what I can bring to the table. I have value. The things that I make will have value. And, so like, let's sit down and have a meeting about these things. But I would not have been able to do that if I hadn't had that backing of working with a team and kind of, seeing behind the scenes how everything worked and having people to talk to. So I think that's something that you can do, not necessarily under payment or under a job, but I guess it's more about finding the right community to work with.
Yeah.
Okay, now I might go a little bit different, like, from the whole topic, but Ben, how's your year been, 2020?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been interesting. I finished my non-college school, which was very fun, and I've gotten a lot more time to work on my projects. Not much other than that. Looking for a job now, which is a little hard, but yeah, my projects have been going very well.
Yeah. You've definitely blown up quite a bit this year in the community.
Yes.
Yeah. Just on was it New Year's or the day after New Year's? I hit 5,000 followers on Twitter, which I was blown away by.
Ooh,
less than a year. So.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Solid. I was rewatching Spider-Man and thought of you, Ben.
I was watching it 2 days back.
Yeah,
Spider-Man,
really,
the first one, Tobey
Maguire.
That's Tobey Maguire. Yeah.
Sad Toby's the best.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
That's the best meme.
remember
again.
the first BlenderNest episode. I was just sitting on my bed watching it. I was like, wow, I thought about, wow, I want to be as good as these guys one day. And well, here I am talking to you guys.
Yeah.
I still don't
Exactly,
feel
that's-
quite on your guys' level since I don't do this
Yeah.
professionally. It's more of a hobby. It's nice to just be around you guys.
You've got the
I mean,
skill
nice to have
level.
you.
Likewise. But your stuff is really
Ben.
good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started I started my YouTube channel because of BlenderNest, and I'm sitting here. I can't imagine, like, it all happened in 2020. That's a good thing.
BlenderNest
I
making
thought.
dreams come true.
Yes.
Curtis, what have we done
Yeah,
here?
more people now to go over the top of it.
This is a dream factory. This is turning into Disney, I think.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just gotta get Ducky and CG Matter back in. CG Matter pops his head in every now and then. Still, we gotta get Ducky back.
Ducky's been busy.
And
Let's see
Southern,
if he can
Southern's
get
been.
anyone.
I
And
know,
Grant,
he's been very busy.
Grant Abbott, he's been busy as
Grant
well.
Abbott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grant had like
Big
internet
channel.
issues forever, so he bowed out. But
Yeah, and now he's been
I'd
doing
love to have him back.
those courses as well with game dev something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Game dev channel.
Yeah, something. I forgot the name, but yeah,
The sculpting one. They released a new sculpting one back then a while ago.
yeah, and we've got
It was
more.
amazing. The course was really good.
We've got more
I love it that
people.
these guys are doing that. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I like Ducky blew up, CG blew up, Grant. I mean, you guys are everyone's blowing up.
It's been an interesting time.
Yeah.
It's a good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if Ben starts a YouTube channel and just put out
It's
his
over.
content, just explain what he's doing.
It's over.
It's
It's
over.
over. Yeah. It's over.
I think
Then
your
they're
career
like-
is safe because I need to get a real job and I won't have time for that, at least for a little while. If I could
I
do
mean, you'll be on.
professionally, then I would consider making a YouTube channel.
Just give us 2
Yeah,
years.
you'd be on
2 years
every
heads up.
week's,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
I've
You'll be
had my
on
2
every
years head
week
start.
newsletter of Enterprise.
Yeah, that job thing is definitely like a one life piling on thing because it's kind of a trap too. Like, on one hand, it's great because you'll make solid money and you'll be learning from if you can get in with good people, you'll be learning really, really, really fast, quickly. But the stuff that you want to do on the side suffers tremendously. It really does. Like when I get busy, it could be a month before I do another video, and it's happened to me like at least a few times this year. And I know that's killed me in the algorithm, and then like I rush to put something out, and it's like subpar, or I mean I think it's cool or whatever, and it gets like 1,000 views or whatever, and it's just like, all right, what is YouTube just like? I don't know if it compounds killing your channel if you like release a few videos that aren't doing very well. But then again, I have someone that pull me back up again. But it's like once you're working full time, it's really hard to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a little.
I was speaking of life piling on. It's about to pile on big time. So, guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
nice talking to you, Paul.
All
See ya.
right, yeah. There's life. Life is calling.
See you guys later.
Yeah, catch you later.
Yep.
See you
Welcome
all.
2021, guys.
2021.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Let's hope
Now
it's better.
Markham's gonna join.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
In a while.
Yeah, he's gonna.
In
Paul's gonna
3.
walk into the other room, put
gonna-
on his
like a
Markham suit.
Super
Put on his
suit.
Markham
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a big air
I
on his
was-
chest.
Kicking myself in the butt the other day, Kev, because I was thinking like I spent so many nights not sleeping. A couple years ago, just either out having fun or like working really hard, and now I feel like I can't really do that anymore because I will start to literally just fry my brain. But yeah, to that effect of life piling on, it's and to what Charan was saying, like I'd rather spend a sleepless night working on something that I'm really having a fun go at it, but it's hard to do if you also have a full-time job and you got to wake up the next day and
I'm
kinda show up.
managing with my college stuff. It's in the morning, and I'm doing like in the 8:30. My college starts at 8:30 in the morning and goes till the afternoon. Only then I can do Blender stuff, and most of my stuff is in the nights, like literally in the nights. I don't know when I sleep nowadays.
I've considered changing
But
my life to be more on like your time GMT, because you all are up right when I'm sort of ready to get something going here in the East Coast, and I'm like, maybe if I just hop on a stream, then I can just power through this, because
I mean,
it's like 2 a.m.
Normally in Curtis server we just hang out whenever possible, and it's been daily nowadays. So I was thinking like we can do it in BlenderNest as well. If you're free, if you just ping any one of us, we can just hop in and we can just talk.
Yeah, I've been using
Yeah.
Charan for late night therapy. so I make him stay up. So he goes to bed really late in his morning, and then I get to go
You know
to
what
bed at
Curtis
midnight.
hasn't talked about this episode?
What is that? Oh, there's one more thing I have to show you guys. I got a new pet.
Starts with a P.
Yes.
That's a new pet. You don't know what it is, right? Okay, it's a rock. I have a pet rock
A pet rock.
because After like a long time, yeah, let me tell you the story, okay? It's pretty interesting. After a long time, I went for a
Remind me
walk
to
outside,
come
okay?
back
Like
to work
literally on a walk.
because I had one more important point to make. But so just remind me after Charan's done his bit.
Okay.
Go on, Charan. Let's
Tell
talk
us about your rock.
pet rock.
So what happened was, after a long time, my mom forced me to, okay, go out, have a walk, because I've been sitting here for like months. So it's okay. I went out. I was just walking around the thing, and I found this amazing rock, which is like very different. Like when I look at it, all I can see is the surface details, surface imperfections, and the edges. Look at it. Like honestly,
Yeah.
Nice.
it's chipped away, right?
Yeah.
So doing this procedurally is amazing. It's very hard, and yet I think that's why I like this one. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You said
and
light
passes through
shines
this
through
one.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
light shines through it. I mean, if I put it there, I can't see much, but then when I put my flashlight back there, you know, there's a little light which passes through it. And
Yeah.
understanding this material would be really nice exercise. And yeah, I do love something which is grungy all the time and rusty. I don't know, material
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah, if I'm
That's
being
what I
honest.
need.
Yeah, I
Does
did.
it,
So yeah,
does it have a
sharing.
name?
so
Yeah, I was
that's
about
what
to
I was
ask.
thinking. Like, I asked my mom, like, can I get like a new box or something so I can just put it there right beside my bed whenever I wake up and just do this. She's like, what? Why? I said, I want it. And yeah, she said, yeah, okay, she'll find one. And I
Well-
thought, okay, I'll go for a walk every day then to find new rocks.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna be living in a cave in like a week.
Doesn't matter. It's
The reason
fine,
this
it's
is
worth it.
happening
It's
is
gonna be
like,
awesome. No, it's cool. Do it.
I've-
Yeah.
I think
I've
it's
been-
great. That's a
I
good.
mean,
that's
like,
good.
Charan.
I mean, the surface imperfections on this is amazing.
Charan,
Yeah.
stop talking about the rock. The reason this is happening, and I swear it's this, is because he's been so deprived of a pet, right? So it's all these little things coming out. Because you were going to get some rabbits at some point, and you were sending me all these pictures of all these rabbits, and it didn't pan out, and you really want a puppy, and it's not panning out. So just finding something to look after.
I got my rock. I love my rock.
Yes.
I love it.
I really want a pet. I mean, I watch like my homepage is filled with puppies. I can't help it.
Yeah.
YouTube
You're just
homepage.
torturing yourself, man.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I mean, like to be honest, getting a puppy and a pet, it's kind of hard in home because everyone goes for work. Because I have college stuff, and after that, I'm planning on higher studies. No one will be in home to take care of the puppy, and
Yeah.
I don't want it to live alone anywhere. Like I can't do it, especially me. And my parents. That's the main reason. Even they're not ready for a puppy because both are working, and it's like 8 hours a day they'll be out of house, and we can't leave any pet for 8 hours alone. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I can just put him in the pocket
Nice.
or her. I don't know.
Very nice, Charan. Thank you
Nice.
for sharing your pet rock.
Pet rock.
Thank you.
Curtis, what were you going to say
Yeah,
afterwards?
All right, so
Yeah.
we were talking about work and choices and stuff, and it's gonna be so weird go back to that after such a straight, like a big tangent. Kev was saying something, and then I wanted to jump on, and I was going to talk about how there was a point where 2017, I was like applying for jobs, and I got nothing, but I had an opportunity that came up where my dad could hire me, but it would require a massive sacrifice. So this was a point where there were certain films going on. I think it was Wonder Woman, I'm not too sure. But it required like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14-hour days and like a travel time across the city, which would be like a 2-hour commute. 2 hours there, 12, 13 work. And if you wanted to live at home, 2 hours back. And you're like, okay, so you're spending all day, every day working. Alternatively, stay at a hotel near the studio, which is what he does. So you have more time, like, you know, to sleep and to wake up and that. But you are stripped away from everything that you love, right? Back at home. So that was the option. But for me, it was like I love doing creative things. I had all my friends that I like talking to. This was my, you know, my space. And I thought that I can't do that. Like, I was being declined for every job. That was the only possible thing. And like, that's just far too much. Because I thought, no, I would definitely want to stay at home. It's like, okay, well, you wake up super, super early in the morning. you travel, you work, you come back super late, and as soon as you put your head down, you're back up again, and you have to give up all the artwork, all of your friends essentially, and everything. And I was like, that's not right. And I love my dad. My dad's a fantastic person, but everyone has like their arguments every now and again. And he was like, well, that's just what work is. And I was like, that's not true.
For me.
It's not like now I didn't have any backing of like my own stuff working at that point, because I just felt like a complete failure. But even then, with nothing going for me, I was still like, that's not right. I'm not going to accept that. So there's little moments like that which are like, you have your convictions, you know what you think is right, and you've got to like fight for it. So yes,
that's
correct.
How did you get the idea of starting your channel in the first place?
I started a YouTube channel years back in secondary school, and I had done some odd programming things, and I had also tried doing vlogging at one point. And then I went back trying to do programming tutorials again in 2016. So it had been happening, but it just ended right as it started every single time. And there was a point in 2018, I was speaking to a friend. This was after doing an alternate reality project. And I was looking at other Blender YouTubers. I don't know which ones it was, maybe Andrew Price. And I was sitting there thinking, I could do that. Like, they've made it a job and they've got all these subs. And I'm like, it's not complicated. Like what I'm watching, I'm not trying to like what
like it's hard.
Yeah, like and I was thinking, well, why don't I have that? And I was like, well, I could have done if I started a channel and stuck with it. The only reason I don't have that now is because I didn't stick with it. So obviously, just get going, start it now, and then you'll have that. So there was like a moment of realization. You're like, so just frickin' do it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
It is so painfully simple.
Yeah.
I wondered how old my channel was after saying that, and it's been around since the 21st of April 2015, and I only really started putting content on it this year because I've been doing other things, and instead of, I mean, even if I'd done one video a week by now, I'd be it's exponential growth. We all know that. And it'd have been amazingly different, but I didn't. So here I am.
Yeah, it's weird because I remember having the conversation with a friend, and I kind of like said that to them. I was like, "You seen like these channels?" Like, because I was giving them lots of advice and stuff to do with Blender, and we were just chatting about like all sorts of stuff to do with work because we wanted to make games together, or like. It was a cool creative relationship. I don't talk to them as much anymore just because we're both busy now, taking different paths. But I remember distinctly having that conversation, like, if I stuck with it, then, it's like there are some moments in life where you just have these little realizations, and it's just like, it's painfully common sense, like as you're saying. But it's like when you finally like apply it, you stop being an idiot and you're like, oh yeah, damn it. So
yeah, you want that big damn it moment. Like try being around when the internet was born and realizing all that opportunity and like not figuring it out and looking back going, why haven't I been doing this for the last decade?
Yeah.
Like that's a worse feeling.
Dude, I live in damn it cycles.
I know.
Like I was talking about LiDAR like 12 episodes ago, like 5 episodes ago. This effer goes out and puts out the end of photogrammetry video and gets 100K views, and I'm like, damn it. And I was talking about VR, and there's a point behind this. I was talking about VR the first episode that I joined with Tom when we were doing sort of hacky sack, and then Southern does like a whole series on VR, and I was like, okay, so there is something there. But a friend of mine, a coworker, and one of the 3 people who's been really instrumental in me learning stuff said, there's no prizes for being early. And my partner too is like, there's no one gives you any credit or anything. Like there's nothing because you didn't really do anything. And this goes back to Michael's points. Like if you had just started, and Curtis, if you had just started then and done it then then you'd have something to show for it, right? And it's like some people have, and that's the like key pivotal difference. So if you're thinking about doing something now, this is for me and also for you, just effing do it. Just do it. Just put it out there. Put the first video out. Tag me on it. I'll watch it. I'll give it a like if it's good. And just do it. Just do it. Because that's the only difference. If I had started my channel in 2014, which is when I think I released my first video, about or 2015, then, maybe I wouldn't have whatever sum of subscribers it is now, but that's not what I'm not chasing a number. I'm chasing more of the group. I feed off of the community, being able to chat with people, bounce ideas, collaborate, like Charan was saying, have, oh, I wish I could do this one thing. Oh, I know a guy that's really good at doing that one thing and he's on this Discord or whatever. That's what I'm in it for.
Yes.
And I can still get that without necessarily putting the videos out, but I know that it's at a detriment to myself because it's something I want to do that I'm just not doing. So just
guys,
do it.
Yeah.
It's 2021.
I think that mentality is of being a finisher and finishing things is so important, and so challenging. And it's easy to pick really big goals to try and finish, but I found personally that even just trying to do that in small things like non-work related, it's really helpful. Like say I'm doing a workout, for example, just to finish that helps me in my work to finish bigger projects.
Yeah, small wins.
I think small wins for sure. And just developing that attitude of following things through is something that I've seen little choices compile, and they create an attitude and an ability and a belief within yourself that you can finish things.
Yeah.
I guess that would be my addition to what you're saying is put out that video, but also get up with your first alarm. Start with a small thing. And for some people, that's not even small. It's hard to get out of bed. So
that's really hard. I hate that first alarm.
Just the worst.
Yeah.
That thing. 18 snooze cycles.
First alarm, which means you have about 2 or 3 continuous alarms.
I used to be out of the house before the pandemic. I was out of the house by 5:30 in the morning.
Damn.
And I would set my alarm at 4:30, and I would hit snooze 5 times or something, and then I just jump out of bed.
It's all right, I'm getting up,
I'm getting up, I'm getting up. I started sleeping on the couch just because I was waking my wife up. I'm like, all right, I can't just get up with that first. You're right, that's a big thing. But if you can do it, that's a small win.
No, and they definitely do add up.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. One of the things that we were talking. Go ahead, Michael.
We both think. Okay, geniuses.
Good.
I think one of the things to remember is that as a lot of people overestimate what they can do in the short term. So you give yourself 20 tasks in the day and you only manage to do 10, and that makes you feel sad. But you often underestimate what you can do in a couple of years. Even though you accomplish those 10 things, if you were doing 10 things every day that are of significance, then it obviously adds up to something much bigger. Hitting one less snooze every morning.
Yeah.
And you close to hitting no snooze. And it's just the act of doing those things one at a time that eventually expands. So I think setting yourself 20 goals a day or whatever is probably a silly thing to do. And if you're just starting out doing whatever, you should probably start with maybe 3.
Yep.
Rather than overloading yourself and not getting those quick wins. Because even if you did get 3, and if you do accomplish something that you've not even written on your list, you can write that on the list and tick it off.
It's a plus. Yeah,
it's a plus. It's a bonus point. Do it.
Yeah.
Andrew Price was talking about this in his podcast, which I did listen to. Andrew, if you're watching, it was a good episode. You ramble a bit, mate, but it's good. So he was saying it's going to the gym. I mean, and this is not something he made up or said. It's something people have been saying for a while. If you want to start going to the gym, using that as the example of setting some discipline in your life, and Curtis is gone. You just go to the gym. Just show up to the gym for 1 minute. You don't have to work out. Just the act of starting that is going to be enough, hopefully, over a period of time to get you to just be okay with going to the gym. And this is a thing that you're doing. And maybe you might realize, whether it's going to the gym, doing a drawing, or whatever, that if you put 1 to 10 minutes in, time will fly, and you're going to say, well, I already picked up the pen, I already picked up the paper, may as well just write, right? If I'm already doing this. And then you sort of start developing this habit.
It's building a series of tiny habits.
Yeah.
And for our next act, we've got our in-house singer, Kirsten Bolton. Take it away.
I was getting bored of holding it like that, so a bit more freeing. But
Nice.
I was gonna say, like, about like waking up and stuff. Does anyone else get the thing where like you're half awake, and then you check your phone, and like I've been checking my analytics, and then I respond to messages to people, and then I wake up again, and I'm like, okay, hold on, what was real there and what wasn't? Was that comment real? Like, was that message real? And then like. And it's like it happens a few times in a row sometimes. So like I'll check again, I'll be like, oh no, of course that didn't happen. And then I realize I'm still not checking the phone. So like you eventually reach the point of being conscious enough to be like, okay, I've definitely got the phone now.
Yeah, that's when you look at your messages and you're just like, I actually wrote socks from Amazon are better than McDonald's cows.
Yeah.
I was sleeping.
Yeah.
What did I do?
It happened today actually. Like, I got this weird dream. Like, someone tagged me on Twitter by using my tiles pack. Like, one of my demo files. I was like, what? And I woke up and I was like, okay, let me check the Twitter. Let me see the image clearly. And it's not there. Then I realized, oh, it's a dream. Oh my God.
It's a dream.
It's a
Dreaming in
dream.
one.
Yeah, I like
Which is
it.
worse when when your wife's on Ambien and wakes up in the middle of the night and goes on Amazon and you don't realize it, and then all of a sudden all these like random packages start appearing on your doorstep, and you're like, what is this? And she doesn't remember it. I don't remember it.
Well, everyone knows socks from Amazon are better than McDonald's cows. So
They are. I mean, it's known now.
Yeah.
It sounds like a secret code
Let it
when
be.
By the way,
two spice meets up.
As it was recorded, so shall it be.
by the way, because it's 2020 and a new year. We already talked about this. Like, once in a while, we should do not a podcast, like in a general meeting or something, where we just share our screen and talk about the stuff which we are working on currently.
Yeah.
And putting out there. Yeah, we did it once. Like, I think Arturo is still editing it.
yes, no, I decided not to. Because it was just three of us. It was a good chat, but I would like for an episode like that to have more critical mass, because there's so much value add to get different people talking about where they started, where they've come, and do that show and tell. And I think there's a more organized way to do that.
Yeah, so I was thinking like maybe we should do once in a while. Nice hat, Curtis, by the way.
Thank you.
Also, if you're still watching this whole way through,
yes, there we go,
and you haven't subscribed, I'll let it slide. But just drop down in the comments what sort of episodes you'd like to see from us this 2021, because we're working on, redoing this whole spiel. Maybe be a little less rambly, maybe have some sort of structure, who knows. So if you have ideas,
Structure.
More
we're
fun.
open to hearing them.
We used to do structure, and then it was pointless because it used to go all over the place.
Yeah, the thing about structure is that it's in the imagination.
Yeah.
So we can say that there's some structure.
What was
and
the
then end up with
previous
something
attempt
like
at
this.
structure?
When we started the podcast,
announce.
we outlined individual discussions that we were going to have throughout the episode. And when Ducky was basically moderating it, it would start off. We would have a proper introduction, say, hey guys, welcome to episode blankety blank of the BlenderNest podcast. We're going to be talking about this, that, and the other. But it always got off topic. So we kind of just gave up.
Gotcha.
And maybe we can ask people like, you can ask us questions and we can answer that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just use the hashtag #BlenderNest.
BlenderNest, yeah.
Hashtag Ask BlenderNest.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll do it properly once.
It's a long one. That hashtag might
Yeah.
change, but
Ask BN. Just
ask BN. Yeah.
Not to be
Hashtag
confused.
Ask BN.
Don't confuse it with Ask NK, because that'll be very confusing for him if he suddenly gets a bunch of hashtags.